24-year-old copyright analyst Lydia Velasquez is suing her former friend, 22-year-old car salesman Shannon Sieber, for his share of a trip to Spain. Shannon claims Lydia offered to pay.
This is case number 101 on the calendar in the matter of Velasquez versus Sieber. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats, please.
Ms. Velasquez, Mr. Sieber was a friend of yours, and you claim that he owes you for some expenses from a trip to Spain that you took with him.
That's correct.
Or that he took with you. Mr. Sieber says there was never any agreement to pay you back any of the money you expended on his behalf, while acknowledging that you did spend money on him for plane tickets and some hotel expenses. Is that right, Mr. Sieber?
That's correct.
Okay. So let me turn to you first. I'd like you to tell me something about yourself.
Okay. I'm from Manassas, Virginia. I met Lydia in New York.
I didn't ask you where you met her. I asked you something about yourself.
Something about myself.
Yeah. First, why don't you tell me how old you are?
I'm 22 years old.
And what do you do for a living?
I sell cars.
And how long have you been selling cars?
For about 8 months now.
Is that what you want to be, a car salesman when you grow up?
No, but it pays well.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Own my own business.
What kind of business?
Maybe a daycare.
A daycare?
Yeah.
You like children?
Love children.
Why do you think that you have what it takes to guide young children into maturity? Stand up straight. First, the first thing you have to know is that you don't have to lean on anything.
Yes.
A table, a woman, anything. So what I want you to tell me, Mr. Sieber, is, since your life's ambition is to own a daycare.
Yeah.
Yes, try yes.
Yes.
That's the first thing you have to do with children, teach them how to speak. And since that is probably one of the most laudable professions to guide children, I want you to explain to me what personality traits you believe you have that would qualify you to guide the future of America. Now, I want you to think about that, Mr. Fastmouth, before you answer my question. Because I want you to think of what it is. Because as you see from this little repartee that we're having between us, I can swallow you up alive. We understand each other?
Oh, we understand each other.
Very good. So I want you to think very carefully, Smarty Mouth, why you believe that you can, with your talents and what those talents and moral qualities that you have are, to guide the children who are the future of America.
Because I'm consistent and committed.
Committed to what?
Committed to be able to learn whatever I have to learn to be able to teach children.
Okay. Now let's talk about your moral qualifications. You sell cars?
Yes.
Did you ever exaggerate to somebody when you sold them a car?
No.
Never?
No.
So when you're negotiating with somebody, you're always right up front. When you say, listen, my manager won't let me take a penny less than for this car, and I'm going to give up most of my commission so that you can have this car, because I want you to have this car.
Of course.
That's totally honest.
Oh, yeah.
Never said anything that wasn't true.
No, ma'am.
Okay. I want you to do this for me, Mr. Sieber. When you open up your daycare center,
Yes, ma'am.
let me know where it is.
Okay.
When did you take this trip with Miss Velasquez?
We took it March 31st.
And how long did you go for?
6 days.
Who went, Mr. Sieber?
Myself and Lydia.
Just the two of you?
Yes, ma'am.
And I assume, Miss Velasquez, from reading your papers, that you had a little bit of a crush on him.
I did.
Now, what makes you think, Mr. Sieber, that even though Miss Velasquez had a crush on you, she was going to pay for your tickets?
Well, when I got the car early in February, and she asked me to take the trip with her, I told her that I would take the trip. She said that she would cover the flight expense if I would go with her. When we got over there, the first night that we were there, advances were made, and I told her I wasn't looking for anything further. And after that happened, we got back to Northern Virginia. I started getting calls. She wanted money. So, because the advances were denied, she decided she wanted payment.
Why did you go with her, Mr. Sieber?
Because I liked her as a friend.
Did you tell her that?
Yes.
Well, tell me what you said to her.
Exactly that.
Let me hear.
I like you as a friend.
When did you tell her that?
Many times. In New York, when I was with her, over the phone.
When she called and asked you to go to Europe with her, did she say why she wanted you to go to Europe with her?
No.
All right, now I'll hear you, Miss Velasquez.
Thank you.
When did you call him?
I didn't call him, actually. He had called me. We initially met, and we went on a really nice romantic first date. We kept in touch. My sister got sick. He was calling to ask me about her. And through the course of the conversation, towards the end of the conversation, I had told him about a trip that I was planning for myself. I thought planning a trip for myself and going to Spain was really what I wanted to do. Then Sheindlin had called me. He's very charming on the phone, and he expressed his interest in coming with me.
No, just not expressing it. What did he say, if you remember?
He said, would you mind if I came with you? And I said, yeah, no, that's great. I was excited about the fact that he wanted to go with me on a trip.
Now let's get to the tickets.
Sure. He had said if you can find a ticket for around $400 that he'd go ahead and, pay me for that. So the next day I did a vigorous search. I'm pretty good at the internet, and I found tickets. I had called him up and I told him how much the ticket was going to be. It was around $444. And he had said, that's fine. And I said, well, I already put the hotels, so you can just pay me half for the hotels. We can split that and then just pay me back for the flight. And he said that he would pay me back the full amount. When we got to Spain, he paid me $300 in cash. And he...
Oh, Mr. Sieber, how come you gave her $300 in cash, sir?
Oh, that was for the hotel.
You gave her $300 and said...
And he said, on April 18th, I will send you the remaining balance. So I had thought that he was going to pay me once he got back home. We had a good time. I realized, though, when we got there, his attitude towards me changed. Before that, the phone conversations were great. He was saying, oh, you're so cute, and I'm listening to your CD right now because I sing or whatnot, and you're making me smile and all this charming baloney. And I fell for it. I fell for it like I would. But when we got there, though, his attitude changed towards me. He all of a sudden was cold, distant, and it seemed like I was irritating to him.
The bloom was off the road.
It was.
Okay, fine.
It fell down and someone squished it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Lydia Velasquez says former friend Sheindlin Sieber owes for a trip to Spain. Shannon claims Lydia is upset that he only wants to be friends.
All right. $444 was the plane ticket, is that right?
Correct.
And then there was some expenses for the hotel.
Correct, because we were there for 5 days and 4 nights.
And you are asking for $350, which is less than the cost of the ticket, so your $300, sir, paid portion of the plane ticket. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Look at that. You paid part of the plane ticket and you didn't even know it.
That's great.
Mr. Sieber, you look like a sweet young man. You're 22 years old, so I will attribute some of what you say to me today as being words from somebody who is not yet fully cooked. Just starting to shave and just starting to feel yourself. So I want you to understand something. You're supposed to have a reasonable moral compass. You're not supposed to toy with somebody else's affections. And I think that you're a smart aleck enough to know that by going to Spain with her, you were toying with her affections. You're not supposed to do that. It's unkind. And should you find yourself at the other end of this affection stick at some point in your life, I guarantee you won't like it. But I've been around long enough, Mr. Sieber, to know that what goes around comes around. And it may not come around today, it may not come around tomorrow. But if you're not nice to people, eventually it's going to come back and bite you in the behind. We understand each other?
Clearly.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $350. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It's just sad when friends have to start suing each other.
I'm just happy that I'm going to actually get my money back.
It was never a relationship to begin with. It was all made up in our mind.
I might have been misled by him.
It was made very clear before we left it was what it was. There was going to be nothing more.
Not the person that I thought he was.
She's a nice lady.
He was just being rude.
We were only friends, and that's all it would ever be.
We're not friends anymore.
Plaintiff Donna Peterson is suing her grandson, 21-year-old freezer operator Justin Peterson, for an unpaid loan to pay off his legal bills. Justin says not only did he make payments to his grandmother, but he also did work for her.
Your Honor, this is case number 237 on the calendar in the matter of Peterson versus Peterson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
This is your grandma.
Yes.
Your grandma says that she made some loans to you while you were living with her.
Yes.
Over $3,000?
Yes.
And you say that there was never a loan, and if there was, you gave her some money in cash, and you bartered for some of it by taking care of her and doing her landscaping.
Yes.
When did you go and live with your grandmother?
It was back in February 2003.
Why?
Well, Due to divorce situations with my parents, my dad needed a room so my sisters could live with him, and I had to go.
You weren't having trouble with your father, were you?
No.
So when you realized that you had to find another place to live, did you call your grandmother?
No.
Well, how did it come about that you went to live with her?
I went on my own, and I was in my car for a little bit.
You were in your car?
Yes.
Why were you in your car?
Because I didn't want to beg anyone. I didn't want to ask anyone to do anything.
How were you supporting yourself?
I was going store to store with getting pop cans.
Well, why weren't you working?
I was previously laid off from another job.
How long hadn't you worked?
Since October of '02.
Well, maybe that's why your father told you to get out.
No.
Your grandmother said yes. So your grandmother volunteered to take you in?
I had a cell phone that was about to expire and stuff. She called me on it and was wondering where I was. She didn't want me to... She was basically saying, I don't want you to live on the car. I thought you were going to come live with me. I was like, okay, I will.
Is that what happened?
No, I hadn't had any contact with Justin. Nobody had. And I was very worried about him. And he showed up on my doorstep. I just accepted that he would come and stay with me.
Now tell me about these loans that you claim you made to your grandson.
Okay, he got a job through some friends of mine.
Great. Starting when?
I'm not positive.
February 5th.
Great.
03.
So practically right away.
Yes.
It was before I moved in.
Go ahead.
No, you already lived with me, Justin. Anyway, he owed quite a few bills. His car needed work. He was driving without a license, without insurance, and he was picked up once that I know of and his car taken away, and I think they took him away too, and his father got him out. So I asked him to make a list of what he owed, and we worked out together what the loan would be. And I have a copy of the original check was $3,500.
May I see it, please? So he sat down and made a list of what all of his bills were.
Yes. And we supposedly paid off everything he owed.
So that was in July of 2003. You paid off all your debts.
Yeah, that I knew of.
Great. How much did you pay back?
I started paying small increments. Work was starting to get unstable. There was one time where I had a layoff period of 6 weeks.
And what did you do during that 6-week period?
I used unemployment, but it was very little, and I was barely holding on to keeping the insurance that I had.
How much rent were you paying to your grandmother?
$200 a month.
Is that right?
Yes, however, the first 3 months, I didn't ask him to pay anything so he could save money to get an apartment.
So how did you pay her back?
For those first 3 months, all the money that I couldn't save, I was putting towards what was being collected upon me from collection agencies, Verizon, and other companies. And I was basically being swallowed and just trying to keep up.
Well, that's why she gave you this $3,500
Yeah,
to
that came 3
consolidate
months
everything
later.
so you could pay it all off and then pay her back regularly in a smaller increment. How much did you pay her back?
Well, I've got records here of what I have paid her.
Can I see it, please?
Yes. This is when I recently got employed, and like agreements we made verbally that I would pay what I can when I could, and at least the minimum.
Well, you have down here $720.
Yes.
And I see that the payments didn't start here until May of 2004.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, that was when I moved to Umatilla for work.
But, Your Honor, also, I got one of the bills, the statements from the credit card company, and there was a $250.
What credit card company? You gave him a check.
Yes, I did, but it's from a Chase Manhattan Bank. It's from a credit card company.
I see. So they took this right off a credit card.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I got a $250 charge on the credit card, and he said that he had a bill that he had overlooked. I had given him a signed check from the credit card company because they send you blank checks.
So he said you would sign the check and gave it to him?
Yes, he did. And
Did you?
no, I didn't.
You mean he told you that you would sign the blank check?
Yes. And anyway, I didn't argue with him because he's always right. So I called the credit company and asked them for a copy of the check because I knew I hadn't given him a check and signed it.
Can I see it, please?
It was a check that he had forged. And he had said, well...
Just a second. What do you have to say about that, Justin?
I'd gotten a notice from Verizon for my cell phone that had expired, and I had $350 still left in the bank, and I needed a little extra to do that. I called her on the phone. She was kind of slurring her words, which I figured she'd been drinking, and she said, okay.
So she is correct that you forged her name to the check.
I signed it, yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Her grandson, Justin Peterson, owes for a loan to pay his bills. Justin says his grandmother is a drinker.
You forged her name to the check.
Yes, I signed it.
She didn't turn you in, did she?
No.
When did you tell your grandmother exactly how much you wrote out this check for?
Afterwards, she confronted me about it later. I figured she already knew because I'd called her. And
when did you leave your grandmother's house?
Late January, early February of 2004.
Tell me about that.
She was in Palm Springs, and we were having troubles. Every time I'd come home, it was Justin, 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 and I'm just trying to get by.
Justin, 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 what?
She would confront me about, you need to do more, you need to do more, you need to pay more, and it's like, I'm trying. And what we agreed upon was making at least the minimum as long as there wasn't a negative mark.
Well, you hadn't paid anything, Justin. You showed me what you paid. You hadn't been paying anything. Not a minimum, not anything, for months.
I had also done work for her, which she agreed upon.
So tell me about that, Justin.
Well, she was complaining about the lawn. I offered, Grandma, since I'm not able to get you as much, I could do the lawn for you. I could have it done in one day.
Try not to look at the walls, Justin. Try to look at me when you're testifying.
I'm just recalling, Your Honor.
Well, try to recall while you're looking at me.
Okay. Well, I was trying to find ways.
No, you're right. Are you cross-eyed?
No.
Then look at me.
I was trying to get the balance covered and stuff, and I knew I was getting close to missing more. And I went to
right here,
I
Justin.
went to a friend. I was just overlooking this.
You don't have to look at anything. Tell the truth. You should be able to remember it.
I am.
Okay.
I went and purchased a bunch of sod. My buddy had come over too, Chris.
What month was this in, Justin?
I don't remember the exact month.
Well, I
it was
would
like
like
July
you to-
or August
Of what year?
of 2003.
I want you to think about whether it was July or August of 2003.
I just remember it was a really hot day.
And what you're telling me, Justin, is you had fallen behind in the payments.
I was coming close to, yes.
But previous to that, you had made the payments.
Yes.
How many payments had you made previous to that?
Well, I'd given her bigger amounts of money, like 200, 250. One time she wrote, well, I gave her the checks. And
So
I
that
told
was
her-
before you
Yeah.
were doing the landscaping?
Yes.
All right, now let me explain something to you, Justin, my dear. According to what you just said to me, and I want to make sure that I'm getting this right, Officer Byrd, Justin says that he did some work for his grandmother in order to pay off his debt to her. Some landscaping work in July or August of 2003. He said that previous to that, he had been up to date in his payments. That's what you said.
Yes.
That's what he said. My problem with that, Officer Byrd, could you just take a look at this check and tell me the date of the check of his grandmother's for $3,500?
7/10/2003.
So what you're telling me, Justin, is before your grandmother gave you this check for $3,500 in mid-July of 2003, you started paying the credit card company back? Is that what you're telling me?
I made a plural mistake, yes.
You made a big mistake! Because you may be trying to get over on me that something's wrong with your grandmother's mind, but I got news for you. Nothing is wrong with mine. And certainly nothing is wrong with Officer Petrie Hawkins Byrd. So when somebody lends you money and someone extends themselves, puts money on a credit card so that you can have a clean slate, because that's what your grandmother did, you don't turn around and kick them in the behind by standing there and telling a whole bunch of lies. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,200. That's all. Get out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm not mad at my grandson. I'm hoping this will help him to mature and be responsible for himself.
I tried being good with my grandma. I did have problems.
The world doesn't owe you a living. You've got to pay your way.
Trying to look like a saint who got screwed.
I hope that it helps him to mature and be responsible for himself.
Maker Rose Macias is suing her brother, electrician Juan Macias, for throwing her to the ground and injuring her back. Juan says it was Rose who attacked him.
All rise. Yeah, this is case number 149 on the calendar in the matter of Macias versus Macias. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. Macias, the defendant is your brother, and according to what I've read, you claim that he assaulted you almost 2 years ago. You want to be compensated for your injuries, your pain and suffering, your lost wages, etc. And your brother tells me that you were at his house, that you were the aggressor, that he asked you to leave, you refused to leave, and he was merely defending himself.
That's correct.
I gather that this problem between you and your brother started over your mother.
Yes.
When did this alleged assault take place?
May 17th, 2002.
And with whom was your mother living at the time?
She was only staying at his house temporarily.
How long had she been at your house?
About 2.5 years.
Prior to that, where had she been living?
In her home in Texas until she had a stroke.
Did she ever live with your sister prior to 2002?
No, ma'am.
Correct?
Not correct, Your Honor.
When did she live with you?
Immediately, 4 months after her stroke, while she was recovering, I took her back home to Texas. And we were there for 4 or 5 months. And then he asked her to come back because he was telling her that her...
I don't care. He took her back to his house.
Right.
All right. And she lived there not for a couple of days. She was staying there for at least a year.
Not consistently, Your Honor.
Oh, don't play with me, Miss Macias. Don't play with me. You want to tell me what happened, Miss Macias, on May 17th?
My mother had been asking me to pick her up because she was bored at his house. I went to pick her up, and I hadn't been there but 3 minutes before he showed up, Your Honor. He started to tell me that I was not supposed to be there. I did not know that. As I'm waiting for her to gather her medication, I'm helping her gather some clothing of her from her suitcase because the prior time she had been in my house.
Just tell me the story. He came home at 9:15 and he told you weren't supposed to be there.
Right.
And you said to him what?
I said, I just came from my mother, and he asked me to leave, and I told him I needed her medication. I could not leave without her medication.
So he asked you to leave?
Yes, and I said, I cannot leave until I get her my mother's medication. So he started pushing me out the door. The beating started. He started pushing me out the door. I told him I just want my mother's medication, and he kept on pushing me and pushing me. Eventually, I just kind of blacked out. I just fell and stood up and fell and stood up. He kept on hitting me. I don't know where the punches were coming from. Eventually, I just stood up, and I tried to kick him in the groin. I could not lift my leg up very much. My back had gone out. I had a little problem with my back. I could not lift my leg very high at all. And he grabbed my leg and shoved it over my head, shoving me against the door. And even though I have a certain amount of flexibility, the fact that my back was out at the time just really, really caused me a lot of...
Why didn't you leave when he told you to leave?
Because I needed her medicine.
You didn't need her medicine. You needed to leave.
I wanted my mother.
You come back another time for your mother. If your brother tells you to leave his home, if you remain in his home and he tells you to leave, you're trespassing.
Well, I wanted to get her clothing. I couldn't take her without she wasn't prepared.
Is there a guardianship in this case of your mother?
Your Honor, there is. I am my mother's conservator.
Can I see the papers, please?
Yes, ma'am.
You have photographs of the assault, Miss Macias?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
May I see them, please? These are rulings by the court which suggests that your brother has conservatorship over your mother.
Yes.
Really, the limited purpose of assuring that she received proper daily medical care. The court did not believe that you were in a position at that time to assume that responsibility, despite the fact that your mother seemed to indicate that you would be her preference. The court also noted in its order that you had a difficult time controlling yourself during the course of the hearings. Did you act out during the course of the hearings?
Only on 2 occasions, Your Honor, when he made very serious allegations and accusations. I was really upset because this has been going on since my mom got sick, and he has dragged me to court repeatedly trying to get restraining orders to keep me away from my mother. And I was just very upset, and this has been the hardest thing for me. I've had to go to group therapy because he has upset me.
Are you on medication, Ms. Macias?
No, Your Honor.
Had you been?
in the beginning, when I went to group therapy, before this went to the conservatorship, yes, I was taking medication for stress and depression, Your Honor. I was very upset over...
It's suggested, but it's not discussed in here,
Yeah.
but I assume that that's true.
Well, I just could not control my nerves, Your Honor.
Who took these photographs?
My son.
Okay. Most of the black and blue marks that are here were around the arm.
Yes.
Looks as if someone's trying to restrain you. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Macias, you want to tell me what happened?
Yes, ma'am. On the day of 5/17/2002, I did have the occasion to come by my house in the morning. I had forgotten keys that I needed while on the job. I was on duty at the time. And I found my sister inside my home after I had asked her several times. I did not want her anywhere near my family because we had a record of legal incidents that had transpired up to that point. She had filed restraining orders. I had filed restraining orders. We had gone back and forth.
Put your hand down, Ms. Macias.
We had gone back and forth. And we had gotten to the point where she was no longer a person that was welcome in my home.
How long had it been since your mother was out of your home?
She had just been with my sister a few days earlier for Mother's Day, the weekend before. It's just 5 days earlier.
You took her there to her house?
I believe that, I don't remember who took who. I believe that she picked her up. I don't recall the exact.
Okay, so that wasn't a problem.
It was 5 days prior.
So it wasn't a problem. She was, in fact, seeing her.
Yes, she was.
So tell me what happened when you got home looking for your keys.
When I got home, I was surprised to find her, and I asked her to please remove herself. I asked her what she was doing there, and she said she was helping Mom get her things together because she was going to take her. And I asked her, how long are you going to take her for so I can give you the right amount of pills for my mom? And she said, it's none of your business. I'll take her as long as I want to keep her. And I said, well, then, Rose, she's not going with you. And furthermore, I want you to get out of my house. So she says, I will get out of your house whenever I feel like it. She starts waving her hand in front of my face and using the F word multiple times. So I walked up to the front door. I opened it. I asked her to walk out. And when she refused to walk out, I grabbed her by the blouse, by the arm. Maybe she may have sustained those bruises. And I started walking her backwards towards the door. She immediately turned around and attacked me with martial arts moves. She went.
Just tell me how she did that.
She went. She tried to kick me in the face. I have pictures to show my injuries also. She tried to kick me in the face, which I blocked with the back part of my right arm. And then she repositioned and double punched me karate style below my left collarbone. And then she came down and tried to kick me in the groin. At that point, I blocked her kick, and I was able to hold on to her leg and raised it. And as she stated earlier, she fell inside my home, striking a piece of furniture, a china cabinet, with the back of her hand.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Her brother, Juan Macias, assaulted her by throwing her to the ground. Juan says Rose was trespassing in his home.
Where is your mother living now?
Everywhere.
What do you mean everywhere?
She bounces around from state to state, Your Honor. Ever since he got her conservatorship, immediately after he received it, he told me over the phone that my mother staying at his house was jeopardizing his job, his marriage, and his lifestyle. He has never wanted to take care of her, Your Honor. I have been her primary caretaker.
Could you just tell me where she has been living for the past year?
She has been living mostly at her home at my mother's request. After this incident happened, we went to court, and the court asked my mother again where she would prefer to reside. And based on everything that happened, and she witnessed this, she was scared, and she said, I'd rather go live with my sister at this point.
Ms. Macias,
Yes.
your mother was interviewed by the police.
Yes.
And clearly, if your mother is living with you now, your mother was not angry with you. Your mother said that she was there during this entire incident, and at no time did she ever see your brother punch you or kick you, as you have described. She, as a matter of fact, specifically says that that didn't happen. Can you explain that to me?
Yes. Your Honor, when the police department asked me what had happened, I told them that I just remember feeling punches and kicks. I didn't know. I just remember falling over and over again.
Your mother was there.
That's right. She was there, Your
And
Honor.
your mother said that she observed exactly what happened. Do you want me to tell you what she said?
I know exactly what she says, Your Honor.
Ms. Macias, I don't know why you're here. You both behaved badly 2 years ago. He could have been a little more temperate. He told you to leave his house. You didn't leave his house. He had the right to escort you out. You both behaved badly. What I want to know is why 2 years down the road you are deciding to sue him.
I really was trying to honor my mother's respect because my mother's begging me not to bring her to court against both of us.
Right, she's absolutely right. So
Right,
why didn't
and-
you honor her now?
And that was the reason.
So why didn't you honor her now?
Because after I found out that the DA's office had not taken care of it, Your Honor, and I continue to have so many problems and pains, and I ended up having to have a back surgery and a broken finger through this, Your Honor. I have all the records here and the doctor's report.
When you go to someone's home, even if it's your brother's home, and he tells you to leave, that you're not welcome there, and there's been a long history of applications for protective orders by you and by your brother, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to leave. You're not supposed to argue with him.
I didn't argue, Your Honor. I just told him I needed my mother's medicine and her clothing.
Then you leave without your mother, and you make arrangements to come back and get her another time.
Well, I didn't
If
wanna-
he tells you to leave, Miss Macias, it's not as if you hadn't seen your mother. You saw her, according to him, 5 days before at your house for Mother's Day. And he hasn't prevented you from picking her up. That day, he told you he wanted you to leave. That's what you should have done. I think that you both behaved badly, but it doesn't require a lawsuit 2 years later, and it doesn't require court involvement. And I certainly believe that you should have honored your mother's wishes because it's a family it's a family dispute, and it should have stayed within the family. Case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
This is actually, I believe, the 8th or 9th time we have faced each other off in court.
All I can say is this guy is like a very, very pathological liar.
The restraining orders had to do with her stalking my young son at school.
I have never stalked his son in any way. Me and his son loved each other very much.
She threatened violence before, and she's trained in martial arts, and she's trained by the police academy. She likes to shoot, and she owns a 9mm Smith & Wesson that she's very good with.
First of all, I have never attended the police academy, which is another one of his professional lies.
I believe justice was served. I think the judge took the right avenue by seeing through the false accusations, and I feel vindicated.
Nursing student Angela Nemechek is suing her biological daughter, 17-year-old Jessica Simons, and Jessica's adoptive sister, Kathy Brooks, for the money she spent when Jessica came to live with her. Jessica and Kathy are countersuing, claiming Angela stole Jessica's Social Security checks.
All rise. Yeah, this is case number 449 on the calendar in the matter of Nemechek versus Brooks Simons. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Looks like a lot of witnesses here for a relatively simple case. Miss Nemechek,
Yes.
I assume that this is Jessica?
Yes.
According to your complaint, you are Jessica's birth mother,
Yes.
and Jessica was adopted by a family when she was 4 years old.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are her sister,
Yes.
adoptive sister,
Yes.
and both of her adoptive parents passed away, unfortunately, from illness. For a period of time, she was staying with you.
Yes.
And then, Miss Nemechek, Jessica decided that she wanted to come and live with you.
Yes.
And she did for a short period of time.
Yes, Your Honor.
3 months, 4 months?
2.5 months. That was
And during-
3.5 months.
3.5 months. And during that time, you purchased some clothing for her and had other expenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then there was falling out.
Yes,
And
Your
she
Honor.
went back to her sister's home.
Correct.
She and her sister came and got all this stuff that you had purchased for Jessica.
Yes.
And you want to be compensated for that.
Yes.
You're Miss Brooks?
Yes.
You have a counterclaim on behalf of your sister because you have guardianship of her now.
Correct.
And that is for reimbursement from the Social Security checks
Correct.
that was sent to Miss Nemechek. And you want that money back because you say that was hers to spend.
Correct.
Miss Nemechek, how old was Jessica when she was adopted?
4.
And did you have contact with her from age 4 to age 17?
Yes, I did.
When?
Periodically. I've had phone calls with them. I've went and seen them. Me and their godmother, the one that adopted them, was really good friends. That's the reason why I let her adopt them, was because of my sickness that I do have, and currently still have.
Is that a physiological or a mental illness?
Physiological and mental.
Did you support your daughter over the years with money?
When I seen them at times, I did when I could financially afford it.
I'm talking about regular support.
No.
When your daughter came to live with you, I assume that either you weren't getting along with your sister, is that right?
Well, I just wanted to go live with my mom. I just wanted to get to know her. I wanted to have a mother-daughter relationship with her.
Do you approve of that?
At first, no, because of all the problems that we have had with Angela.
What kind of problems?
She would call their schools when my parents were alive, trying to get them out of school. Jessica and I are, we do fight a lot, and I think we do because you don't go from being a sister to trying to be a mother. And, you know, when someone is, 14 years old, our relationship changed because...
Were you married when your parents died?
Yes.
You have children?
I have 3 children.
And you took your sister to live with you?
I took both of my sisters to live with me.
And this was the older sister?
Yes.
Is that right? She take good care of you?
Yes.
I love her. She's my sister. When Jessica came to me and told me she wanted to know Angie. Sorry.
Would it be better if I asked you questions?
No, I need to say this because it's important. I don't know what it's like not knowing your parents. So who was I to tell Jessica that she couldn't get to know her biological mother? Unfortunately, Angela, in the whole time since my parents have had Venus and Jessica and their older brother David, my parents adopted 3 of her children so they could stay together. She never could step up to the plate and act like an adult and knock on my door and say, hey, Kath, I'm sorry your parents died. I really want to help. I really would like to get to know my daughter.
She would sneak around and see us, basically.
So it was very hard for me to let Jessica go, but I spoke with Jessica all the time. She gets a death benefit from my parents. That's what she has left of my parents.
What did you do with your death benefit, Jessica?
I signed the money over to my mother so she can put it in her bank. And she said she would save the money for me so I can buy a car.
Did you do that, Ms. Nemechek?
I did put that money in the bank. I put it in my savings account, and Jessica kept asking me for money, and I kept taking it out of my savings account and giving it to her. I do have proof of that.
Well, how much in the 3 months that she was there? You got 3 checks?
I got 2.
How much were they for?
$931 each.
One was $931, one was $731, and that was it.
How much did she get?
$931 each a month, and it was a total of $2,700 and some odd dollars that was given to her from her death benefit.
Well, let's say, for argument's sake, it was about $2,000. When your daughter decided to go back, how much of the money that she turned over to you did you return to her or put in a savings account in her name?
She had none. She had taken that all out with withdrawals.
How could I...
Just a second.
Okay.
Let us assume that that's true. Who are you suing and for what?
The money that the 2 checks that she received, that Kathy had gave her, we gave her more money besides that.
You're her mother. Who's supposed to take care of
I signed my rights over.
Then
I signed my rights over.
Then Ms. Nemechek...
She's getting a check, Miss Kathy Brooks.
I'm
speaking.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Adoptive sister Kathy Brooks for money she spent on Jessica's behalf. Angela says Jessica lived with her for 3 months when her adoptive parents died.
If you don't want to be her mother, then you say, I'm sorry you can't come to live with me. But when you buy her clothes, things that you should have been buying for her for 17 years, and she decides, I am speaking, and you give it to her, that is a gift. You don't get that back. You get to say, I'm sorry it didn't work out. I know I wasn't much of a parent to you when you were growing up. I know that you had lovely parents. Fortunately, I wasn't there for you. This little bit is my small bit, aside from the fact that you got a couple of $1,000s that you spent, because $100 here and $100 there over 3 months don't come out to $2,000.
I have all my proof.
I don't care what you have. What you don't have, clearly, is a conscience. You're supposed to do the right thing.
You have no idea what I went through in the past 17 years with
That's
these
not,
people.
listen to me. Whatever happened to you over 17 years, you visited on yourself, and you also visited on your children. Because whatever problems you had, you decided to have children. They didn't make that choice. You made that choice.
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
quite frankly, nobody is interested in what you went through over 17 years. That's your problem. You visited your problems on innocence. And when you do that, you don't get sympathy. And when you do that...
The reason why I gave up my kids is because I have leukemia. I was told I had 2 years to live.
Listen to me very carefully. If God blessed you and said, while you had 2 years to live, here you are, 15 years later, still alive and kicking, then what you do if your daughter comes back to you and you've given her a couple of $1,000s in clothes that you didn't take care of over her entire growing up years, and you decided to do it,
Your Honor,
and if it didn't
I did
work
buy
out,
her clothes in between those 17
Miss
years.
Nemechek, quite frankly, I find your behavior bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. If you suffer from an illness, and if you're giving me that as an excuse for giving up your children, despite the fact that years later you're still here, and if you had the unique opportunity of getting to know your children again, then you don't terminate that by suing them. That's stupid
I'm
and
not suing
amoral.
my daughter. I'm suing the person that supposedly gave her money that she never gave her.
That has nothing to do with you. It's not your money. It's not your money. It's Bird's money. It's the citizens' money. It's not your money. Now, but for the fact, Miss Brooks, just a second. Don't
I have
move.
them walk up here?
No, I don't need them. I said there are an awful lot of witnesses here for a relatively simplistic case. There's nothing that I don't understand that I have to have
Well, there's
made
a lot
clear.
more to this case, Your Honor. It's not just about the money.
Well, if it's not just about the money, you're in the wrong place. Go to a psychiatrist. Because that's what I'm here for. I'm here about the money. That's what courts are for. Other than that, you can go find Dr. Phil someplace. He'll be more than happy to hear you. Now, shh, Miss Brooks, but for the fact that Miss Nemechek brought this action against you, would you have counterclaimed for the money that Jessica gave her?
Yes, we actually already hired an attorney to help us write up the complaint against Miss Nemechek. I also have a letter from our bank stating that Jessica's death benefit did come out of her account.
Well, let me see the letter from the bank. How long do you receive the death benefits for, Jessica?
Till I'm 18 and out of school, high school.
Well, this letter indicates, Miss Nemechek, that there were 3 checks, all in the amount of $931.
Well, all I have here is a deposit on August 9th for $731.
That doesn't mean that you didn't get $931.
And then I
that
have
means that
a
maybe,
deposit here
I'm
on
speaking.
September.
I'm speaking. Death benefits don't change by $200. So that means that you may have deposited $731 and taken $200 in cash.
I don't recall that, Your Honor.
Well, you don't recall. That's why I have this from the bank. So 931 times 3 is $2,793. What'd you do with it?
Right here.
Oh, let me see it. Perfect. What's Sprint?
That's a cell phone bill.
$122?
Yes.
Get it. I don't know what this is. This is nothing. White Fox Den, $28. What's that for?
That's food.
Food?
Food.
Oh, my God.
Walgreens. Sunglasses. 3 pairs of sunglasses. Shampoo. What's that for?
It's for Jessica.
Miss Nemechek, I think you're a bad lady. And I believe your daughter when she said you were going to take these checks and put them in an account for her, and the purpose of that account was that when she got to be old enough, she was going to be able to buy a car for herself. I believe you told her that, and I believe that you then went through your trash can and picked out receipts that you decided for your home, for you and your husband and whoever else lives there, that the government was going to be responsible for. If you supported your daughter yourself for 3 months and you've given her no other support her whole life, you ought to thank God that somebody took care of her for the 14 years that you didn't. Judgment for the defendant on the counterclaim in the amount of $2,793. Your claim is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I wouldn't let her have custody over me, and that's just a way of revenge for her, I guess. Suing her own daughter.
I have one daughter here. she's the one I'll help, because I know she never screws me like the other one did.
She was just doing everything behind everybody's back. My son Scott, she came to his school and asked him to go and do drugs with her.
I'll see her in the next court on that one.
She does need professional help. Definitely, she does.
Maybe later on in life, if I'm not dead, then she can come around. But then again, my husband don't want her ever around.
I think it's ridiculous. I have nothing to do with her anymore.
She forced you off the road.
She went like this, and I had to swerve.
All you told the police was she flipped you off. If somebody attempted to kill me and my children by forcing them off the road, that would be the first thing that I would tell a police officer.
This is Judy Justice. Samantha Rojo and Gabriel Fate are suing their former landlord, Amber Richardson, for a security deposit, harassment, and filing a false restraining order.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 3059, Rojo Fate versus Richardson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Rojo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Boyfriend, fiance?
Hopefully fiance, just boyfriend.
Boyfriend. And you were living together and leased a home with your children. Are they his children?
We have a blended family, 2 each.
Okay, so 4 children, the 2 of you leased a home from the defendant.
That's correct.
You're her husband.
Yes.
It was a home that they had recently purchased with the intention of living there. Did you ever live in the home?
Yeah, a couple of months.
Okay. And then work took them away, and they hired a management company to find tenants for the house. In what month and year did you lease the house?
We moved in November 1st, 2021. We had signed our lease in October.
And it was a year lease?
It was 6 months.
Terminating when?
April 30th, 2022.
You were notified by the management company that the Richardsons were moving back into their house and would not be extending your lease.
Yep.
Now, after you were given notice by the management company, you called Mr. Richardson.
I did, yes.
I want you to tell me why you called him.
The school year was nearing its end, and so I was just wondering if there was any way to extend it just another month or maybe even a couple of weeks just to get to the end of the school year. And when he said no, they were moving back in, that was the end of our communication.
Did he explain why to you?
He said, in his words, his wife was a tough sell, and she said that we couldn't extend the lease. And so that was the end of our communication.
Stand up, sir. Your last name is Richardson?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember the conversation
Yes, I
that
do.
you had with Mr. Rojo? Tell me what he said to you, what you said to him.
He expressed a desire to extend the lease.
He said to you, I'd like to extend the lease. My kids are going to school. Could we extend it
absolutely.
a few weeks until after the school year?
Yes, and dad to dad, I totally understand. I expressed to him that...
No, what did you say to him?
I told him that, you know...
Look at me.
I didn't initially see a problem with that initially. However, the reason we are moving...
Just a second. When he said that to you, you understood.
Yes, yes.
Did you say to him, I'll speak to my wife and call you back?
Yes, I have to talk to my wife.
Just a second. What you said was, I understand your problem. I have to talk to my wife. How did I know that? I have a crystal ball in my head because things make sense to me, Mr. Richardson, because you knew that you couldn't make that judgment on your own.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have children?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many?
4.
Now, where you had relocated, your children were in school.
Yes, Your Honor.
So moving back May 1st also required you taking your children out of school.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, why would you do that? No, don't ask her. Don't ask her. You're allowed to hear.
Yes.
Listen to me, Mr. Richardson. Here, you're allowed to speak. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great.
Only one of my children out of the 4 was enjoying their school.
It's still taking them out a month before school starts.
Absolutely. It wasn't something I'd like to do, but I had a job in Minnesota that started May 9th.
Okay, so now we're going to go back. So you say to Mr. Fate, listen, that question is above my pay grade.
Yes, Your Honor.
I have to speak to my wife.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sounds right. And did you speak to your wife?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
And what was her response?
She wanted to move as soon as possible.
Got it. Okay. So he called you back and
Correct.
said, my wife's a tough sell.
Correct.
Okay.
your case is about two things. First, a return of your security deposit, and then harassment and filing a false restraining order against you. So now you move out on April 30th or May 1st?
April 30th.
And how much of a security deposit did you put down on the house?
When we moved in, we paid $2,400.
Did you get any part of it back?
No, they noted that we would, but we did not.
Just a second. They noted that you would where?
When we got our disposition letter from the rental company, there was an amount noted that we were going to receive.
May I see it, please?
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, so they list a whole bunch of things that were problematic. Something in there supposed to refund $340 of your $2,400. Is that right?
That's correct.
Did you receive the $340.88?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so now what you're going to show me, Miss Richardson, is move-out charges, thermal fogging of garage to remove dog odor.
Yep.
$199. Let's go.
Hold on. There's so much stuff.
By the way, do you have a move-in report when you moved into the house? I'd like to see it.
There, thank you.
So far, I'm looking at all these pictures. Now, these pictures were the way you found the place moved in or out?
In.
In. So these pictures coincide with the move-in?
Correct.
For instance, I'm looking at this, Miss Richardson, and one of the things that you complain about is that they painted a wall blue in the master bedroom.
Yes.
Okay, well, the wall was blue.
Okay, I bought my house this color. I never gave permission for any modifications of my house.
Who cares?
And then they painted it this ugly color.
Who cares? You had to paint this anyway. It was all, there were holes in the walls.
She was pointing, flipping me off, screaming, like leaned over the driver and then grabbed the wheel, went like this, and I had to swerve because she put the wheel that way.
That's a lie.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you how I know that's a lie.
Samantha Rojo and Gabriel Fate claim their former landlord, Amber Richardson, owes for her security deposit and filing a false restraining order. Amber is countersuing for harassment and child endangerment.
Now, were you allowed to have dogs? Were you allowed to have dogs in your lease?
I believe we could have, yes.
What do you mean you believe? What does the lease say?
But the dogs were not in our lease at the time it was signed.
Was it asked whether you had pets?
No one asked us.
Does the lease ask whether there are pets?
It does note 0 pets, yes.
So it says there are 0 pets. Right. How many pets did you have?
We had 2 dogs in the house.
Well, that's wrong.
Yeah, it was.
Well, that's wrong. And they say that there were urine stains all over the carpet.
No, that's.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
In the closet, this says.
If I may give you just this one text from Keith stating the urine smell in the home, and they asked us to clean the carpet before we moved in. That's.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to see that.
That's a text message to me
before
prior
moving
to
in.
us moving in.
Okay. Mr. Richardson, what were you going to have your wife take care of in the carpet?
I just wanted my wife to actually clean the carpet.
No. What was wrong with the carpets?
I wanted the carpet cleaned. Nothing was wrong with the carpet.
How many dogs did you have in the 2 months that you were living there?
I have 2.
It's not an answer. 2.
I have 2.
2 is the answer.
Right.
Okay, sit down. Okay. I'm going to deal with the security deposit in a moment. I want you to tell me, after you moved out, there was an incident between the 2 of you and Mrs. Richardson. I want you to tell me your version of that.
Sure. So it was May 26th when the incident happened. So a little under a month after we vacated their home, we were picking up children in our little town. There's only one gas station and one restaurant. We pulled into the gas station. I got out of the passenger side of the van, and a vehicle whipped into the spot next to us. It was a white Tahoe that apparently belongs to the defendant. She was screaming at me, saying that I had done something I didn't do.
No, I want you to tell me what she said to you.
She said I flipped her off. She knew who I was, which was frightening. I'd never met her.
Flipped her off when?
She states that she saw my vehicle and that I reached over Gabe and flipped her off driving on the road. But I don't know her and I've never met her, so I don't know how that's possible.
Okay, and?
And that was the reason that she followed us to Quick Trip to start an incident.
So what happened?
Yeah, she called me fat and told me that I knew exactly who she was. She was yelling about me flipping her off. She said, yes, you rented my house. I know who you are. And she just kept saying my name. And that's when I got out my phone and started recording.
Do you have that recording? I'd like to hear.
I didn't get very much of it, but just have to press play.
Who you are or what you're talking about. I do not know who you are or why you're harassing me right now. Who you are or what you're talking about. I do not know who you are or why you're harassing me right now.
What happened after you had that confrontation with her?
She left. When I started recording, I then called the police. Obviously, I was upset and crying. My children were in the car. I was embarrassed for her that her children were in her own vehicle as she was chasing people down. I called the police and made the report. I do have a copy.
You have a police report. I'd like to see it.
Thank you.
See, Miss Richardson, this is your problem. If I were driving in my car with my young children and someone forced me off the road, that's a situation where your car can be flipped over, your children can be injured, and that would be the first thing that I would tell a police officer. Now, the police were called, they spoke to Miss Rojo, and then they came to find you. I'm going to read you exactly what the police officer said. I left Quick Trip and drove to the house location. As I was driving past the house, I observed a female sitting in front of the house, and she waved me over to speak. Richardson was on the phone with dispatch as I arrived. Richardson hung up the phone, and I asked her what took place. What did you tell the police officer that took place? Now, this just happened, Miss Richardson. Pay careful attention. It just happened.
So what happened was...
No, I didn't ask you what happened. I asked you what you told the police officer.
What I told the police officer is that my children and I were coming back from in town. And
no, you didn't tell him that at all. You and your children were in the car. That's what you told him.
Yes.
Okay, and?
We were in the car heading home, and in the opposite direction, my youngest daughter noticed Miss Rojo's vehicle. And
they were traveling in the opposite direction.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
And right then, I noticed she was in the passenger side and Mr. Fate was driving. And she was pointing, flipping me off, screaming, like leaned over the driver and threw her middle finger up against the driver window, screaming, and then grabbed the wheel at me, grabbed the wheel, went like this, and I had to swerve because she put the wheel that way.
That's a lie.
Okay.
That you're making up as, not only as you're standing here, but when you filed your answer and your counterclaim, because that's a lie. And I'm going to tell you how I know that's a lie. Because that would be a terrible, you can stand up with her, because that would be a terrible thing that happened. Because what you say in your answer and your counterclaim is that she forced you off the road. That's what you say in your counterclaim. But moments after this incident, when you spoke to the police, you mentioned nothing about that.
I did.
No, nothing. All you told the police was she flipped you off. That's what you told the police. I'm going to read it to you because that he would have put, because that's reckless. That's terrible. Somebody forcing you off the road with children in the car, that's dangerous. She could be arrested for that. But that's not what you told the police officer. This is what you told the police officer. You ready? If somebody almost killed me and my children, that would be something that I would tell the police right off the bat.
He wouldn't make a report because there was no physical...
That's baloney.
He wouldn't do it.
That's baloney.
Samantha Rojo and Gabriel Fate have accused their former landlord, Amber Richardson, of refusing to return their security deposit and filing a false restraining order. Amber is countersuing for harassment and child endangerment.
I asked her what took place. She told me that she was driving along when she noticed a minivan in the opposite direction. She observed the female passenger lean over and begin to flip her off as they passed each other. Richardson said that she and her kids were in the car and it made her upset. She turned around and pulled into the Quick Trip lot shortly behind them and confronted them about the incident. It doesn't say anything about being forced off the road. It doesn't say anything about swerving. All it says was that somebody made a nasty gesture to you. That's what it says. But if somebody almost killed me and my children, that would be something that I would tell the police right off the bat.
He wouldn't make a report because there was no physical...
That's baloney.
He wouldn't do it.
That's baloney. I don't believe you.
I even asked for a restraining order. And
I don't. Listen to me.
Physically do something.
I don't believe that she attempted to run you off the road. I believe she was disrespectful in flipping you off. There's no question in my mind because you don't look like an idiot. And if somebody attempted to kill me and my children by forcing them off the road, that would be the first thing that I would tell a police officer. Not that she flipped me off, so I turned around and confronted her about it. So that's how I know that it didn't happen.
It did happen.
Well, I have to make that judgment. I say it didn't happen because if it happened, it would have been the first thing that you told the police moments after this incident occurred.
I even said it
and
on
you didn't.
dispatch.
And you
I was
didn't.
on the phone with 911.
Just a
waiting
second.
for an officer.
Just a second. If you have a 911 call that talks about being pushed off the road with your 4 children in the car, I would like to hear it or see it. Do you have it?
I did not.
The answer is no.
One because I did not
your
get a hold of dispatch.
Your counterclaim's dismissed. Now, you filed a restraining order. Was the restraining order granted or not?
Yes.
Can I see the restraining order?
This is the original petition.
Did you go to court and have a hearing?
I contested it, yes.
Yeah, in your answer, that's what you say. She then took control of the wheel and forced me off the road. I was forced into a ditch. You keep making things up. You keep making up stories as you go along.
No, I had someone from the courthouse help me fill that out because I... There's no stuttering on that one.
Let me explain something to you. I don't believe that she tried to force you off the road. In any event, your counterclaim's dismissed. I don't believe you. Now I'd like to see your photographs of what you allege counts for $2,400 in security deposit.
Show the photos.
I'm not interested in the floors. The floors were dirty when they moved in. Do you want to tell me what this is a picture of?
That was just evidence that they had a dog in there and violated the lease agreement.
Okay.
I have a lot more pictures of photo and urine in the move-out.
I'm looking for photographs of the damage so far. What is this, a garbage can full of stuff? What is it?
Yeah, it was what we pulled out of the...
Pulled out of...
A lot of the cleaning. I had to go take that trash can to the landfill.
Oh, terrible.
Okay.
So there are spots on the lawn here that are clearly urine spots. Is that what you're showing me?
Yes, I have more, actually.
Yeah, well, you had 2 dogs when you lived there for 2 months.
Tiny chihuahuas, ma'am, yes.
I don't care. I have Shih Tzus. They make the same brown spot. What difference
don't
it makes?
go out on the lawn. They go out on leashes on the sidewalk only because they're small and they're not from the city, so We don't let them run around freely in the backyard.
Okay. I actually believe that the restraining order that you filed against her was nonsense. You staying out of each other's way?
Yes. I try to avoid her at all, but she goes in my neighborhood, so I have to try to make sure that I get up super early if I have to leave, because she stated multiple times throughout the hearing that she, in fact, goes through my neighborhood more than 3 times a day.
So
she doesn't live in my town. She doesn't live in my neighborhood. There's no reason for her to even drive past my house. At the other end of my neighborhood, where she can easily access through and go through instead of going all the way.
She doesn't have to avoid you, madam. You lied.
I did not lie.
Yes, madam,
no,
you did.
I did not.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you that in my judgment, after reading this police report, common sense dictates, after reading this report, that the first thing that you say to the police is she tried to kill me and my children by running me off the road. And you said absolutely nothing.
Never even wrote
you said absolutely nothing. She gets her whole security deposit back. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,400. We're finished. Your counterclaim's dismissed.
This court is adjourned.
She thinks that she can just do whatever she wants, and don't care.
It wasn't only frightening, it was embarrassing, and we live in a small town, so the way to go about conflict is not to chase it down, I would think.
She can, you know, harass me. She can try to run me off the road with my kids in the car and not, you know, care.
I have children. That's not the kind of person I am.
The fact that she doesn't have my forever home, as she put it.
You know, we rented a house. We didn't know if we'd be there 6 months or forever, but does anyone ever want to move? I mean, things get said, and so, yeah, I could never be jealous of her.
It is what it is.
Yeah, leave people alone and don't steal.
Father's rights matter.
So my dad always told me one of the ways that he used his truth radar, similar to yours, is if someone's telling a story or recounting something that happened, or in this case, the defendant speaking to the police about what happened, you always lead, he always said, with the most egregious thing, the worst thing that happened, the worst name that she called you, the worst action that they did to you. People tend to lead with that. And I fought him for a long time on that. I said, well, Dad, you're just bad at telling a story. You don't know how to set the scene, you know? Yeah. You don't know how to, sometimes you need some background. And he said, no, but in instances which he was familiar with in the law, with police, with anyone of authority, with a judge, you always are rushing to get out the worst of the worst. So when you went down that avenue, when I saw where you were going, and it finally clicked for me, so I'll have to call him after this.
The apple
doesn't fall far from the tree.
He took money out of your account.
We've split money back and forth. I wasn't keeping tally.
I'm asking you what you...
I sent her money, she sent me...
Just a second. Now it's going to get difficult.
This is Judy Justice. Jill Wyatt is suing her ex-boyfriend, John Moore, for the money he spent while she was in jail.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 3046, Wyatt versus Moore.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Miss Wyatt, how long were you and Mr. Moore in a relationship?
We've known each other for about 18 years.
Did you ever live together?
On a couple of occasions.
When was the last time you lived together?
January, I believe, 2022.
Were you living in a house or an apartment?
It was a house.
Was it a lease?
Yes.
Was the lease in your name, Mr. Moore's, or both?
No. Apparently it was an arrangement that he had with the person that he gave the money to. There was no paper.
We're getting far off the field, but it's getting more interesting. Now, Mr. Moore, Miss Wyatt, although I believe she probably has a good memory of this, I have just a sense that she's reluctant to give me information about this for whatever reason. In January of 2022, sir, you and the plaintiff were living in a house together.
No.
When were you living in a house together?
We've never had a relationship. We've never lived together. When you say live together, I come over. I got a girlfriend I've been having for the whole time, so I've never lived with her.
Do you remember the house she's talking about,
yes,
sir?
Yes, I do.
All right.
The one she destroyed.
I don't want you, just a second. I don't want you to play around with me.
Okay, I'm not.
Okay. Do you know the house she was talking about when the two of you were together some of the time in a house in January of 2022? That's a yes or a no?
Still a no.
Okay, so the house that she's talking about, you lived in alone?
I lived in with my girlfriend, actually.
Oh, just a second. Did Miss Wyatt ever come to stay in that house with you before you had your then current girlfriend?
When I first got the apartment, Miss Wyatt was gonna come. She didn't get along with the lady upstairs. She said she wouldn't come, destroyed the house and left.
Okay, well, if she destroyed the house, then she was in the house. Just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
If she destroyed the house, then she was in the house. And if she didn't get along with the lady upstairs, she wouldn't know that unless she actually lived there, because she's not telepathic.
Okay.
So she was, in fact, there.
I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm trying to understand what you're saying, man.
What I'm saying is not difficult. She did, in fact, stay there with you for a while after you got this house.
Okay.
Not okay.
No, I'm seeing where you're trying to go with that. I'm trying to see what you're establishing. Yes, she did stay there. I'm agreeing with you. That was me saying yes, ma'am.
Taken a long time, but we're there. Okay. And then at some point, Miss Wyatt, you left there and you went into your own apartment?
Yes.
Okay, and where is your apartment?
I moved into a trailer.
That you were renting?
Yes.
I just want to know. I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's the trailer that he was supposed to pay rent on and utilities on when you went to jail?
Yes, ma'am.
So from 2020 until the time you went to jail for, what, 18 months?
78 weeks. Or, I'm sorry, 78 days.
What did you go to jail for?
In 2018, I received a, I'm sorry.
Just a second. 2018, you had a conviction.
Yes, I ended up serving the time in 2022 for
theft.
Correct. I stole Thanksgiving dinner, ma'am.
Are you sure? It sounds like 78 days is a lot. Were you on probation first?
Yes.
Did you take a plea in that case?
Yes.
Okay. And as part of the plea, you were placed on probation?
Correct.
What was the crime that you pled guilty to? I want to understand this. What, was it petty theft? Was it grand larceny? What was it?
No, it was retail fraud / shoplifting for $170.
Okay.
That's what it's
And you were placed on probation?
Yes.
Why was your probation violated? Because that clearly was why you went to jail for 78 days, not because of an old crime, but because you violated probation.
I wasn't keeping in contact with my probation officer like I was supposed to.
Okay. So this case is about the fact that you asked Mr. Moore, who you knew for a long time, to take care of your expenses, your bills, while you were incarcerated, and you gave him your phone.
Yes.
Your phone had the wherewithal, and he understood that because he acknowledges he used it to take money out of your bank account and pay bills, et cetera, with it. And you acknowledge that she gave you her phone for that purpose.
She gave me her phone, not to pay bills, but to give her commissary and to keep up with her stuff.
Pay her bills, some to put in her commissary, and the last thing you said was pay her bills and...
Put money in her commissary and keep up with some stuff.
That's the keeping up with some stuff is what we're talking about here,
Yep.
sir. Keeping up with what stuff?
Phone bill, I mean...
Just a second.
Go ahead.
Now it's going to get difficult.
Okay, I'm
Do
listening.
you understand? I know you are, sir. Keeping up with other stuff. Phone bill.
She bought a... I'm sorry, I'll wait till you
What
ask the
else?
question.
Phone bill?
She ended up buying a computer at that time.
No, I'm asking you.
So, no, I'm telling you, that came off the monies that was there. She was incarcerated. So as a lot of things just come off the phone as a bill, like...
No, I'm asking you what you...
What did I?
What you were supposed to take care of.
It was never etched out. And what I'm saying is she wanted me to stay at her house while she was gone. And that was a means for her to keep in touch with me or keep in contact.
Okay, no. That's something that I didn't get out of this. So she wanted you to stay in her trailer, because she was living in a trailer at the time while she was incarcerated.
Yep.
Where had you been living?
At my house. That's where I currently live now, with my girlfriend.
With your girlfriend. She wanted you to stay in her trailer?
Yeah.
With your girlfriend?
No, She wanted me to be there so she can keep up with me. That was a means of me having her phone and being in her car, and being another thing would be a way for her to keep up with me while she was incarcerated.
And did you like that idea, Mr. Moore?
Not
Just
really.
a second.
No.
I mean, did your girlfriend like that idea?
Not at all.
So why didn't you say to her, I don't want your phone, and I don't want any responsibility. Shh, listen to me. I'm living with my girlfriend. We're not an item anymore, and I don't want that tie because my girlfriend knew that I was staying sometimes in your trailer and not being home. That wouldn't be a good thing. So I'm not going to take your phone. Find somebody. Who are you?
Andrew Porter. I'm her son.
You're her son. Is there anything wrong with you?
No.
Do you talk to your mother?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you work?
Yes.
Yeah. So your mother could have given you her phone and said, pay the bills.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
You can stand next to your mother. It's getting more fascinating by the moment.
Jill Wyatt claims her ex-boyfriend, John Moore, misused money she gave him while she was in jail. John is countersuing for a false arrest.
So, do you understand, Miss Wyatt? I know that you thought it was going to be easier when you came here.
No, I did not. But
I'm very glad, because I have a feeling I could scratch the surface and I'd find more dirt. The more I scratched. The more I scratched. Well, I have no intention of spending my life on this nonsense, because now I see that you have a perfectly normal child, an adult child, to whom you could have assigned the task of paying your bills. And I assume that you trusted him more than you trusted this guy, who seems to have a girlfriend, but then, you know, it can be convenient. He can go here.
It's never painted that way when it's in the midst of things, but he...
Yeah, I also work out of state.
What?
I work out of state. I'm like a field engineer, so I'm only in Michigan maybe a couple weeks at a time.
That's okay.
I mean,
paying your bills doesn't mean that you have to be in Michigan. You can pay your bills, and you could have done all of those things, except anyway, this is your case. You allege that Mr. Moore took money out of your account, a couple of $1,000s.
$781 of that he gave to me while I was in jail, but the remainder he can't account for anything that he did.
So somebody did put in your commissary?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. He said he also sent you, there was $600 in the account when he gave the phone back to you. Was there $600 in the account when you were released from jail?
The date of that?
What's the date of it, sir?
She asked the question, but the answer did I give it to her? I don't have I didn't know I was going to come to court, so I didn't. But if I look at my phone, I'm quite sure, because all our transactions were via Cash App.
What do you mean you didn't know you were coming to court? Where did you think you were coming today?
When we were in this situation, never did I think we would be sued. Oh. So I wasn't keeping tally.
But now you know you're coming to court, so it would seem to me if there's an allegation in your answer that I returned the phone to her, there was still $600 in the account, at least I would have that document.
Give me a second, I can get right to it.
I can give you a second.
I believe that amount was for the August rent on it.
Just a second. All I'm asking you is, did he put $600, when he gave you the phone, was there still $600 in the account?
No, that was like a month after. That was for August.
What do you mean it was for August? What does that mean?
For the August rent. This whole thing with not living with me and not being with me or whatever is untrue. When I got out of jail, we were supposed to be working together, living together. This was no anything like he's describing with having somebody else or anything like that.
I would like to see, Mr. Moore, when you gave her back the phone, that there was $600 on the phone.
It's her phone. I'm not sure.
Just a second.
I'm saying I don't have evidence of her phone.
Okay, now.
But I gave, if you asked her, she'll tell you I gave her $600.
You say that the money that you used, and you acknowledge that you used some of the money, was because you drove her car for a half a block.
Nope, it was more than a half a block.
Well, just a second, let me see.
It says that.
Just a second. I drove her car 1 block to my job. So it wasn't a half a block. Just a second. I drove her car 1 block. I apologize, it wasn't half a block. Put your hand down. To my job when she was in jail, and the alternator went out, and it was impounded. Now, explain that to me. You drove her car, you had your own. For some reason, you drove hers. Why don't you give me a one sentence as to why you drove hers?
One sentence.
One sentence.
On my truck, I had my equipment, my lawn equipment, and I was just going 1 block away, so I didn't want to have to turn it around. And the car was impounded at my job, 1 block away from my house.
Why was it impounded?
Because it stopped on it. The alternator stopped.
Just a second. Cars aren't impounded because an alternator stopped.
The alternator stopped in the middle of the street. I couldn't move it. They had to tow it because it was in the driveway. They towed the car because the alternator stopped.
What you said, well, that's your fault, sir.
It's my fault her alternator went out?
Yes, sir. It's your fault that the car was impounded.
I'm listening. No, I'm really trying to understand.
I want you to listen. Yes, it's your fault. And I don't know what other nonsense there is here, but if Sarah was driving her car and it stopped running because the alternator went out, I'm going to take a guess and I'm going to say, Sarah, what would you do if your car stopped running in a driveway, blocking the driveway? What would you do?
Call AAA.
Call AAA. Call a tow truck. And you would call a tow truck and ask the tow truck to take it to a
auto repair shop.
To an auto repair shop. Your first clue would not be just to leave the truck there and say, send it to impound.
No, it happened.
Just a second. Mr. Moore, please try not to test yourself on the dumb scale. Nobody who's responsible because a car breaks down leaves it in the middle of the road to be impounded. That doesn't make sense. It's illogical. Second thing I'm concerned about is when your car is impounded, in order to get it out of impound, which you say that you did, you have to show proof of title.
Yes.
Yes. Now, how did you get proof of title?
Because I had the title. I had the title.
Just a second. I hear the wheels. I hear you have the title because
I had access to her house.
Well, the title is in her name.
Right.
They wouldn't give you the car. You're not her. I mean, I would look at you and I say, not even close. Unless she gave you authorization in writing to get the car out for her, no impound service is going to let you take her car because anybody can pick up a title and say, I want that car out. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you want to try that again with me?
Here's my question. I end up getting
No, just a second.
Okay.
I want you to tell me where it was impounded.
It was impounded at my job. It was impounded and it was in a place that was a high traffic. I walked back to the house.
I want to tell you something. You wouldn't know the truth if it came up and slapped you in the face, Mr. Moore.
That's what happened.
You wouldn't know the truth if it came up and slapped you in the face and introduced itself to you.
Okay.
Now, how much did it cost to get the car out of impound?
It cost me $1,000.
No, it didn't cost you anything because you took it out of her phone. Didn't cost you. It cost $1,000
to get it insured, retitled, so I could have the ability to get the car out.
Well, how did you get her name on the title?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? She has to sign it over to you in order to...
It was already signed over to me. It was already signed over. It was already signed. I sell cars, Miss Judy.
Just a second. You don't sell cars. You just told me that your car broke down on the way to your place of business.
Yes, to my job.
On your job, and your job is not an auto mechanic or salesman for a car service, which is what you told me. I sell cars, Miss Judy. That's why the title was turned over to me, signed over, and I managed to get the car titled in my name. You want to try this on for me?
Judge Judy, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you, but I was in a situation where it was impounded. They were charging $30 every single day, and she would have lost her car. So
just say you...
Just a second.
No, I didn't.
Just a second.
I didn't forge anything.
Well, you had to have forged something, sir. Because if it was in impound, and what you're saying is they were charging $30 a day, she was going to lose her car. Your next statement was, because you keep digging that hole a little deeper and a little deeper, you couldn't get it out because the car was in her name, not yours, but you had the title because you had access to the trailer, which is what she's suggesting, and you went and forged her signature, got a new title, got insurance, and the car was clearly towed, but you got it out of impound, that's what you said, with a new title in your name and insurance, also, I assume, in your name.
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do with the car?
Gave it back to her when she got out.
Just a second. You gave it back to her. Did you sign over the title?
Yes.
Shh.
Jill Wyatt has accused her ex-boyfriend, John Moore, of stealing her money while she was in jail. John is countersuing, claiming Jill had him falsely arrested.
Now, did you sign over the title to her?
I signed over everything to her because she sold the car since then.
Oh, did you sell the car?
Since all this?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. But he's
I'm what?
He's what?
I had to go through police department and the sheriff's department and threaten him in order to get my title back. He would not give me back my title.
Not at all.
Do you have
the
any
truth.
proof of that?
Any proof of?
That you had to go through the police department, sheriff's department, or anything else in order to get your title back? Do you have any proof of that at all?
I don't have any proof of that, ma'am.
Okay. So it was $1,000 for impound that he took out of your account.
Correct.
That's $1,000.
No.
And
Okay.
did you take out $1,000 from her account to get it out of impound? Well, you just said. Show me that you paid $1,000 to get it out of impound.
I can't show it to you because all the paperwork was in the car.
Did you pay impound by credit card or
paid
cash?
It by cash.
Cash. Then you would have taken cash out.
I had a job, Judge Judy.
You're so full of baloney, sir.
I did have a job, Judge Judy.
You're so full of baloney. Okay, $1,000.
Okay.
Next, you say in your answer, Mr. Moore, that you paid for it. You paid for it out of our money. You say in your answer you paid for it out of our money.
Judy, that's kind of going back and forth.
Oh, listen.
We've split money back and forth. If I give you a copy of our Cash App, it's the exact same money back and forth over the last couple of years. I sent her money, she sent me.
Just a second. Why would she do that, sir, if you have a girlfriend?
I'm monogamously challenged.
Listen. Why would you do that back and forth if what you said to me earlier was, I don't know what she's talking about. I live with my girlfriend in the same place as I'm living now. Now let's move on to, so far I have $1,000. And I really, Miss Wyatt, don't understand anything else. And I'm not spending any more time with your case. That's the person who should have been taking care of your business, not this nonsense.
Yes.
Not this nonsense, because I'm
I
not exactly
believe-
sure whether I'm getting the whole story from this side either. All right, now you have a counterclaim. Your counterclaim is for $2,000 for having you falsely arrested.
Yes, ma'am.
Let us move on with falsely arrested. After she gets out of jail, according to what I read, the two of you are kaput.
No.
Well, okay, here we go. We're going to go back to your answer and your counterclaim, sir. I'm going to read you what I said. On February 13th, I went out to a few bars to have a good time. Jill was at a different bar, but came and met me where I was at. Upon arrival, you're not paying attention.
Yes, I am listening to you.
Upon arrival, Jill started to pressure me to leave with her. I reminded her that we were no longer an item, and I didn't want to leave. She was making a scene, so we went outside to finish our conversation. That's your counterclaim. Now, pick it up from there. That's what you wrote. Try to remember.
Wasn't going anywhere.
Okay.
And then she told me, I'll show you. But you told me these things, Judge Judy. If it's not accurate, would you want me to let you go ahead? Because I didn't write that. I signed it to them. They told me I'd be able to explain this to you as we're doing this here. I stopped and said, hell no, that didn't happen. No, we didn't fight. It wasn't one block. They said, you'll get a chance to explain that to the judge.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't listen to anybody else. So when you sign a document that says, Flash Moore, being duly sworn, deposes and says that this is accurate.
We didn't live together. We still
Would you mind telling me what happened in the bar on February 13th?
She told me she was going to get me locked up for domestic violence because I had assaulted her. I had not assaulted her. I told her whatever, and I walked back into the bar, sat down, the police pulled up, and they said, sir, would you come step outside? Excuse me. They said, would you come step outside? I stepped outside. They said, put your hands behind your back. We're locking you up for domestic violence.
May I please have a copy of your complaint?
I can give you all this, what I have from...
Don't give me all that you have.
So you saying the complaint, I was arrested on the spot.
There was a disposition in that case.
Yes, they dismissed it.
Okay.
This is all complaint to the disposition.
Oh, here we go. The case was dismissed in the interests of justice because you agreed to pay her restitution for just a second. Yep. That's what you agreed to pay her restitution in the amount of $246, which I assume represents the broken eyeglasses that she says that you broke. This says receipt of restitution monies. Same case. I, John Moore, state that I have delivered a check in the amount of $246 to the Calhoun County Prosecutor's Office. It is my understanding that this check represents the amount of restitution that is owed to the victim, according to the agreement entered into by the defendant. So you paid restitution.
Excuse me. Judge, I'm trying to, if you say something, I want to clarify.
Just a second.
Go ahead.
Did you
Just
sign
tell me
this?
when I can talk.
Did you sign this?
Yes, ma'am.
Then cooked.
So if
it's over.
I got a question for you.
No, I don't answer your questions.
If I get off of work, I've been in this court case 5 times in a row. It cost me $200 and some to come to court, and they said we'll dismiss all charges. There'll be no charges at all if you agree to pay $250. I've paid $800 coming to court. So why wouldn't I just say, hey, here, I'll pay you the money, and then try to sue you for false arrest? Because I never heard, where's the glasses at? Where's the picture of the glasses? The police arrested me on the spot.
Mr. Moore, like a perennial victim, I really feel sorry for you. Your counterclaim's dismissed.
So if I'm getting arrested for doing anything, why wouldn't I pay
It's dismissed.
$250
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. Your counterclaim's dismissed. I am finished with this case permanently.
Thank you. Have a great day.
This court is adjourned.
It went just like I thought it would be.
I'm pleased with the results.
She mad I don't want to deal with her anymore.
My guards are up now.
Hey, she wanted to get her day in court. I can leave with it.
Not ask anybody for help.
She the one was locked up for. I've never been locked up for stealing. She was locked up for stealing. That's the thief. The pot calling the kettle black.
Just to be careful who you trust.
There was a great line from the defendant out there. I don't think anyone caught it. But when you asked, how is it possible that you could live with the plaintiff and have your girlfriend and all at the same time? How's that possible? And then he moved on to something else and continued rambling. But he said, Miss Judy, I'm monogamously challenged. I'm monogamously challenged. And I heard it and I started laughing, and I saw no one else made any sort of reaction. And I said, I must have been the only one that heard that, or I misheard that. But I'm pretty sure that was his excuse.
It's a great line, and it's true.
Yeah, it seemed very true in that case.
I have a feeling there's a lot more there.
Yeah.
But it was
a lot more dirt to scratch.
A lot more
through,
there, but enough. That's a funny line. Monogamously challenged.
Hi, xin chào các bạn. Chào mừng các bạn đã đến với kênh của mình. Hôm nay chúng ta
हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, कैसे हैं आप लोग? तो आज हम लोग देखेंगे अकाउंटिंग की डेफिनेशन। तो यहाँ पर अगर आप सिर्फ डेफिनेशन पे गौर करें तो डेफिनेशन के अंदर यहाँ पर हमारे पास जो है ना वो यहाँ पर 4 किस्म के जो है ना वो वर्ड्स दिए जाते हैं। यहाँ पे आमतौर पे बच्चे इन्हीं 4 वर्ड्स में कंफ्यूज होते हैं। ठीक है, तो आप लोगों को आपके सामने मैं इन 4 वर्ड्स को आपको फिंगर टिप्स पे याद करवा दूंगा, जिसको आप इजीली याद कर पाएंगे बाद में। और जब भी कहीं पे आपको इसको लिखने की ज़रूरत पड़ती है तो आप इसको लिख सकते हैं यहाँ पे। ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले अगर हम बात करें तो अकाउंटिंग जो है ना वो क्या होता है, वो एक प्रोसेस होता है रिकॉर्डिंग का। रिकॉर्डिंग क्या करते हैं, फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शंस। ठीक है, उसी तरह से और उसके बाद यहाँ पर जो वर्ड हमारे पास दिया गया है वो है मेजरिंग। ठीक है, मेजरिंग क्या होता है कि नापना, यानी कि देखना कि कितने पैसे कहाँ जा रहे हैं, कितने पैसे कहाँ जा रहे हैं। ठीक है, फिर उसके बाद उसको प्रोसेस किया जाता है, और फिर साथ क्या किया जाता है, शेयरिंग की जाती है फाइनेंशियल और अदर इन्फॉर्मेशन अबाउट बिजनेस एंड कॉर्पोरेशन। तो कॉर्पोरेशन और बिजनेस का जो है ना वो हम एक ही वर्ड यूज़ करेंगे यहाँ पे बिजनेस, क्योंकि कॉर्पोरेशन पे हम बाद में जाएंगे, उसकी डेफिनेशन अलग से देखेंगे। हम सिर्फ बिजनेस की बात करेंगे क्योंकि कॉर्पोरेशन भी एक तरह का बिजनेस ही होता है। ठीक है, तो लेकिन यहाँ पर तो हमारे पास सबसे पहले मेजरिंग की जाती है, यानी कि रिकॉर्डिंग की जाती है। ठीक है, और दूसरी चीज़ क्या जाता है, प्रोसेस किया जाता है उसको, कि देखा जाता है कि कौन सी चीज़ कहाँ जा रही है, किसको कहाँ पर ऐड करना है, किसको कहाँ पर जो है ना वो सूटेबल तरीके से हमने उसको सेट करना है। ठीक है, तो उसके बाद क्या है, उसके बाद फिर हम फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शन, फाइनेंशियल जो है ना वो हमारे पास इन्फॉर्मेशन और अदर इन्फॉर्मेशन का हम इस्तेमाल करके और जो है ना फर्दर उन ट्रांजैक्शन को और ज़्यादा प्रोसेस करते हैं। ठीक है, तो अगर हम लोग जो रिवाइज डेफिनेशन अगर हम उसे देखें तो रिवाइज डेफिनेशन के अंदर क्या होता है, रिकॉर्डिंग होता है। ठीक है, और समराइजिंग होता है। ठीक है, एनालाइजिंग होता है, और क्या होता है, इंटरप्रिटेशन होता है। ठीक है, तो ये सारा का सारा हमारे पास जो है ना वो ये फिंगर टिप्स पे आपको याद होंगे तो आप इजीली याद कर लेंगे कि आप इजीली अकाउंटिंग डेफिनेशन किसी को बता सकते हैं। ठीक है, सेकंड थिंग अगर हम देखते हैं तो हमारे पास क्या है, अकाउंटिंग ऑल्सो नोज एंड अकाउंटेंसी। अकाउंटेंसी अकाउंटिंग का दूसरा नाम है। ठीक है, लेकिन किसी जगह पे आपको इन दोनों में फ़र्क भी दिखाया जाएगा, लेकिन फिलहाल के लिए आप ये समझ लें कि अकाउंटिंग और अकाउंटेंसी एक ही चीज़ होती है। ठीक है, थोड़ा सा फ़र्क होता है दोनों में, लेकिन क्या है कि कोई माइनर से डिफरेंस है, ज़्यादा नहीं है। ओके, तो उसके बाद देखिए, इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ रिकॉर्डिंग एंड प्रोसेसिंग इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट इकोनॉमिक एंटिटीज एंड सच एज बिजनेसेस एंड कॉर्पोरेशंस। जो इकोनॉमिक एंटिटीज़ होती हैं कॉर्पोरेशंस की, जो उनके पैसे से रिलेटेड होती हैं, जो मनी ट्रांजैक्शंस होती हैं, मॉनिटरी ट्रांजैक्शंस होती हैं। ठीक है, तो वो सारी की सारी जो है ना वो हमारे पास अकाउंटिंग या अकाउंटेंसी में हम पढ़ते हैं। फिर उसके बाद आगे देखिए तो हमारे पास अकाउंटिंग इज़ द लैंग्वेज ऑफ बिजनेस। तो अकाउंटिंग जो है ना वो बिजनेस लैंग्वेज है। ठीक है, एक छोटी सी चीज़ सपोज, तो उसके बाद अगर आप देखें तो यहाँ पर सपोज कि आप अगर आप किसी को अपनी कोई बात बताना चाहते हैं। ठीक है, तो अगर आप लोग एक कम्युनिकेशन करने वाली लैंग्वेज में, एक ऐसी लैंग्वेज जो दोनों को समझ आ रही हो, आप ऐसी लैंग्वेज में जब तक ट्रांजैक्शन मतलब कि बातचीत नहीं करेंगे तो आप कैसे अपनी बात को समझा पाएंगे। तो यहाँ पर इसीलिए हमें बताया जाता है कि अकाउंटिंग जो है ना वो बिज़नेस की लैंग्वेज है, और बिज़नेस की लैंग्वेज है तो यहाँ पर हम लोग पूरे लैंग्वेज बिज़नेस की जो ट्रांजैक्शन है वो इसी लैंग्वेज में करेंगे, ठीक है। तो आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर। और फिर इसके बाद अगर हम देखें ना तो अकाउंटिंग के अंदर बड़ी सारी चीज़ें होती हैं, काफ़ी सारी वोकैबुलरीज होती हैं, काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें होती हैं। तो अगर हम लोग एक एक चीज़ को यहाँ पर डिस्कस करेंगे ना तो आपको आपके जहन में वो जो है ना वो चीज़ें बैठना शुरू हो जाएंगी, वो आपको ज़्यादा बेहतर तौर पर आप उसको अंडरस्टैंड कर पाएंगे, ठीक है। तो अगर आप जब अपनी फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शन करने जा रहे हैं, आप बिजनेस में कदम रखने जा रहे हैं, तो आपका पहला स्टेप जो है ना वो अकाउंटिंग होना चाहिए, ठीक है। आपका पहला स्टेप जो है ना वो क्या होना चाहिए, वो अकाउंटिंग होना चाहिए। तो इसलिए अकाउंटिंग की बेसिक से बेसिक डिटेल्स भी जो है ना वो आपको पता होनी चाहिए। सबसे पहली चीज़ जो आपने सीखनी है वो क्या है कि बिजनेस लैंग्वेज जो है वो क्या है, वो अकाउंटिंग है, ठीक है। फिर सेकंड चीज़ देखें तो फिर उसके बाद आता है मयरिंग, ठीक है। यानी कि अगर आप देखें तो मयरिंग या फिर जो रिकॉर्डिंग है ट्रांजैक्शन, ठीक है, वो सिंपल बुक कीपिंग में भी आप उसकी बात कर सकते हैं। बुक कीपिंग की हम एक डेफिनेशन देख लेंगे, लेकिन अगर आप बात करें सिर्फ रिकॉर्डिंग ही करनी है तो वो बुक कीपिंग में भी आ सकता है, यानी कि बुक कीपिंग भी अकाउंटिंग का एक हिस्सा है, ठीक है। लेकिन फिर उसके बाद अगर हम देखें तो अकाउंटिंग में फर्दर प्रोसेस होते हैं, ठीक है। बुक कीपिंग जो है ना वो बिजनेस लैंग्वेज नहीं है, लेकिन अकाउंटिंग बिजनेस लैंग्वेज है। तो आप इसके अंदर हमारे पास कई चीज़ें जो है ना डिस्कस की जाएंगी, एसेट लायबिलिटीज़, ठीक है, और फिर उसके बाद ऑनर्स इक्विटी यानी कि कैपिटल वगैरह, इस तरह की सब चीज़ें जो है ना वो आपके सामने अकाउंटिंग के अंदर हम डिस्कस करेंगे। अकाउंटिंग की ये 0 क्लास है, यहाँ से हम जो है ना फर्दर बहुत आगे क्लासेस हम इसको लेके जाएंगे, और एक एक डेफिनेशन जो आप लोगों की बुक में या आप अकाउंटिंग के हवाला से डिस्कस करना चाहते हैं वो हम लोग यहाँ पर डिस्कस करेंगे, ठीक है। तो मुझे लगता है कि आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आई होगी। अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगे तो लाइक कीजिए, और आप कोशिश करें कि आप किसी टॉपिक में आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो आप मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में लिख सकते हैं, मैं आपको उसको अच्छी तरह से मतलब कि अच्छी तरह से सॉल्व।
ओके, लेट्स बैक टू द टॉपिक। तो अकाउंटिंग जो है ना वो हमारे पास वेरियस फैक्टर्स रखती है। अब हम लोग इस सीरीज़ में ना, इस चैनल के ऊपर आप इस बारे में ना काफ़ी सारी डिस्कशन देखेंगे, काफ़ी सारे लेक्चर्स आपको मिलेंगे जो अकाउंटिंग के जो है ना वो बेस की कॉन्सेप्ट के बारे में बता रहा होगा, ठीक है। तो इंफॉर्मेशन जो है ना वो हमारे पास यहाँ पर जो है वो आप देख सकते हैं कि हमारे पास अकाउंटिंग की जो क्रूशियल इन्फॉर्मेशन है ना तो वो हम आपको यहाँ पर प्रोवाइड करेंगे, और ईच एंड एवरीथिंग A to Z जो है ना वो चीज़ें यहाँ पर सॉल्व करवाई जाएंगी। और अगर आपको कोई कॉन्सेप्ट रहता है, कोई आपको प्रॉब्लम रहती है किसी कॉन्सेप्ट में, तो आप हमें जो है ना वो लिख सकते हैं कमेंट सेक्शन में, और फेसबुक पर मैसेज कर सकते हैं मुकम्मल तौर पे कि कौन सा जो है ना वो आपने क्वेश्चन समझना है, ठीक है। किसी और बुक में से है हमारे पास, हम तो बेसिकली सुहेल अफजल की बुक जो है ना वो प्रेफर करते हैं, लेकिन अगर आपके पास लेकिन आपके पास अगर कोई और बुक है तो आप वो भी हमें उसका भी कोई एक उसका स्क्रीनशॉट लेके तो या फिर उसकी पूरे क्वेश्चन को टाइप करके आप हमें सेंड कर सकते हैं, तो हम आपको उस पर एक जो है ना वो डिटेल्ड वीडियो बनाकर आप दे सकते हैं, ठीक है। तो आप जो है ना वो ये सारी की सारी चीज़ें जो है ना वो आपको यहाँ पर इस चैनल के ऊपर मिलेंगी, ठीक है। फिर आने वाले दिनों में एक डिटेल्ड जो है ना वो आने वाला है, सीरीज़ आने वाली है, एक पूरी प्लेलिस्ट होगी जिसके अंदर आपको न्यूमेरिकल क्वेश्चंस करवाए जाएंगे, चैप्टर वाइज भी अलग होंगे, चैप्टर वाइज अलग अलग होंगे, और एक पूरी प्लेलिस्ट ऐसी भी होगी जिसके अंदर आपको सारे के सारे वो चैप्टर्स के न्यूमेरिकल क्वेश्चन, लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन वहाँ पर करवा दिए जाएंगे, ठीक है। तो फिर साथ ही साथ जो है ना वो आपको अकाउंटिंग के जो की कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं ना, ठीक है, जो अकाउंटिंग का निचोड़ है वो सारा का सारा आपको इसी चैनल पे मिलेगा। और साथ ही साथ अगर आपको किसी और टॉपिक पर भी, यानी कि सिर्फ अकाउंटिंग से रिलेटेड नहीं, किसी और चीज़ से रिलेटेड भी अगर आप बात करना चाहते हैं, ठीक है, तो वो आप कर सकते हैं। हमारे पास जो है ना वो कह सकते हैं कि जो आला तरीन जो है ना वो हमारे पास टीम मौजूद है, इस तरह के चीज़, मतलब कि मेरे अलावा भी और भी टीचर्स मौजूद हैं जो आपको यहाँ पर गाइड कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। और बेसिकली मेरा ये सब बताने का मकसद ये है कि मैं ये मतलब कि जो YouTube चैनल है इसको कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि जो मैक्सिमम चीज़ें जो टीचर जो मतलब कि बच्चों के लिए प्रॉब्लम रहती है इन चीज़ों में, तो वो यहाँ पर डिस्कशन हो सके, और वो भी फुल डिटेल के साथ। तो इसलिए मैं ये सीरीज़ जो है ना वो निकाल रहा हूँ, और फर्दर अगर चैनल मोनेटाइज हो जाता है तो उसमें फिर हमारा भी फ़ायदा है। लेकिन खुदा ना खास्ता अगर नहीं भी हो पाता है तो तब भी सीरीज़ चलती रहेगी, ये सीरीज़ ऐसे ही चलती रहेगी, ठीक है। तो इसमें परेशानी वाली कोई बात नहीं है। आप हर तरह का क्वेश्चन जो है ना वो, हर तरह का क्वेश्चन किसी सब्जेक्ट से रिलेटेड, छोटे से छोटा बड़े से बड़ा क्वेश्चन, तो आप वो हमसे पूछ सकते हैं, तो हम आपको उसमें गाइड करेंगे। और बिल्कुल भी अगर आपको लगे, ठीक है, कि कोई आप हमें सजेशन दे सकते हैं इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए, तो वो भी आप हमें दे सकते हैं। हम बिल्कुल भी कुछ बुरा फील नहीं करेंगे, ठीक है। आपके कमेंट का या आपके रिप्लाई का हम बिल्कुल भी कुछ बुरा फील नहीं करेंगे। आप बता सकते हो, आप चीज़ों को शेयर कर सकते हो हमारे साथ। तो इसलिए मैं ज़ीरो से कोशिश करूँगा, मैं ज़ीरो से चीज़ों को दोबारा से मतलब कि आपके सामने एक्सप्लेन करना शुरू करूँगा, ठीक है। और अभी सबसे पहले जब मेरी ये अकाउंटिंग की सीरीज़ कंप्लीट हो जाएगी ना, डेफिनेशंस की, सबसे पहले मैं लेके आऊँगा कैपिटल रेवेन्यू पार्ट 1 का, कैपिटल एंड रेवेन्यू। तो आप वो सीरीज़ ज़रूर देखिएगा, ठीक है। उस सीरीज़ का जो लिंक है वो मैं आपको अनकरीब जब मैं बनाना शुरू कर दूँगा, तो मैं इस वीडियो को एडिट करके मैं इसके एंड पे आई बटन में और डिस्क्रिप्शन में तीनों जगह पर उसका लिंक डाल दूँगा। आप तीनों जगह से उसको एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। और वो प्लेलिस्ट जो है ना वो इतनी आसान लफ्ज़ों में होगी, इतनी आसान लैंग्वेज में होगी, और ऐसे ऐसे वहाँ पे उनमें ट्रिक्स बताए जाएंगे, कैपिटल या रेवेन्यू दोनों को हम कैसे डील करते हैं, कैसे हम लोग आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं कि कौन सा कैपिटल है कौन सा रेवेन्यू है। और अगर आपको कॉन्सेप्ट समझ आ रहा है तो वेल एंड गुड, लेकिन अगर कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं समझ आ रहा है आपको तो उसके बाद ट्रिक्स पे आ जाते हैं। फिर ट्रिक्स भी आपको ऐसी मिलेंगी यहाँ पर कि आप जो है ना फ़ौरन से जो है ना वो आंख बंद करके आपको बता देंगे कैपिटल है कि रेवेन्यू है, ठीक है। तो ये सारा का सारा इंट्रोडक्शन था। अकाउंटिंग की डेफिनेशन जो है ना वो मैंने आपको बता दी हुई है। तो आई होप कि आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगी होगी। तो मैं आपसे मिलता हूँ नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग।